with COVID and everything, we're not making music right now to play at shows.
True.
We're making listening music, and like, which is why like I'm a big, huge proponent of narrative.
How are things out about where you're at currently with the whole, pandemic situation? Not to date the episode, but it is what it is.
It's not like right now. It's definitely like a little crazier than it has been. We got hit later, but I think we got hit later because a lot of people were like, "Oh, Montana is like safe to go to," so we had like an influx of tourists come in, and then like, yeah, I mean like after like Sturgis and stuff too, like which is like one state over. So like we just had like a lot of people come through, and I think that that's a big reason, and students coming back to college. But other than that, like I mean, it's been I would like to think like somewhat similar to everywhere else. It kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for what it is, at least I feel people are getting creative now with what they're doing musically and like how they're going about doing shows and making income. But like, I feel like it's pushed creativity further a bit, which is like a nice bright side of it, I guess. But yeah, definitely like everything has taken a hit overall.
Dude, I was like to that point, I was actually reflecting the other day on like my current position in the music ecosphere, and actually how I'm like relatively thankful for my position, just because I saw one of the OG Seattle crew who had gone down to Icon Collective, making like house music, tech house and stuff, like had a release with AC Slater, was starting to take off, had like a tour booked for the whole year, like all of 2020, like on the road, like she was killing it. And basically she was on the precipice of like blowing up, and then it just all got stripped from her. And she posted how basically how much of a toll it took on her mental health. And I was really feeling for her, because fuck if I wouldn't feel the exact same way. I mean, like, all of us are starting to build traction, obviously, but we're not at the point where we got a full, like, big tour ripped from us. And I think that it is really, really unfortunate for those who were on the precipice, got that ripped away, and then all their steam is lost and they feel kind of out of it, like the motivation to put the same amount of work in is gone. And there's going to be a lot of people that like just kind of shelf it, or at least are not going to put the same effort in that they were, just because they feel like it's not going to happen or not happen the same way. So being on just the precipice of the outside, being able to build up steam during this time, and then when things get back to normal, whenever that is, be poised to actually jump on that and really make a splash. So there's definitely there's silver linings for some, and fucking real hard times for others. I mean, hard times for everyone really, but I always like to try and think about the bright side of things.
Yeah. I was gonna ask SEDA, how's like music been going for you? Like especially during these times, have you been trying anything different, either like from the promotion side, or just like creatively? Have you had any breakthroughs through just like having this time to work on tunes?
For me, like I started off the Corona like lockdown thing. There's a producer, his name is Shishi. He's like kind of a pop world music producer, and like he held this like Corona creative challenge, and it was like a 6 tracks in 6 weeks thing, and like that kind of like boosted things right from the start for me creatively. And I think from there, like I mean, it for me, like it's been like it's a silver, there's a silver lining for me. It's been great because have had the time to prime myself for when this is all over and things like that. And I've definitely been taking taking advantage of it, making the most of it. Yeah, I what was the other part of your question? I'm sorry. Like,
I was just wondering, like, given that we have a lot of time now to like work on stuff, have there been any things that or any like realizations that you've had during this time, whether it's like from the promotion or community side, or whether it's from the writing side that you've like taken away that's like influenced, you know, either the way you're going about getting your music out or your actual sound?
I feel like that's happening all the time. I feel like it would be happening if it wasn't locked down or not. Like I feel like I'm like having realization. Like the way I like to look at it is that it's like a puzzle, and certain pieces don't fit for you right away, but then over time you find where they fit, and then they make sense to you. So it's like that shit's making sense to me all the time, and you know I'm having these epiphanies and these breakthroughs. I feel like all the time, you know, and so it's like, was there more because of Corona and I've had time to like really like focus? Probably, because I've you know what I mean. I've like it's given me an excuse to not go out, you know what I mean, or do anything, you know. And not that there's a ton to do in Montana, but you know what I mean. Like this is a great place to focus, anyways. You know,
Yeah,
it's a great place to not have distractions and be like, you know, I want to get down to my craft and really hone it. So yeah.
I feel the exact same way about Bend. Like I moved here from Seattle, and there's just like I have everything that I like to do activities wise, like super close to me. And then other than that, there's really not much going on. So I'm pretty much activities, hanging with the girl, or making music. And that's pretty much all I would want to be spending my time doing anyways. Obviously hanging with friends and stuff when it happens. But yeah, honestly, kind of separating yourself from the rat race, I've found to be really successful for at least the way I go about things. You know, everyone's different. But I really like that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it feels like, oh, I'm missing out. I'm not in the big city where everything's going on, but like it can kind of hold you back in that sense.
You know, with COVID and everything, we're not making music right now to play at shows.
True.
You know, we're making listening music, and like, which is why like I'm a big, huge proponent of narrative and motif and like having a story and like, you know, and like not just throwing sounds together, you know, like and like I think now is the best time to be doing stuff like this, and you can, you know, you can play around with your dynamics because you're making shit for people to listen on their headphones or whatever it is. And you know, I mean, like people that give like music like serious listening, they probably have like a decent set of headphones, whatever they are, you know, and like they're probably like want the experience. Like I know a lot of tipper heads, like, you know, they're not going to listen to it on some bullshit system. Like they want to like, you know, and not system, but you know what I mean, like reference, you know. But yeah, so I think like right now, like if you want to make something a little quieter, like now is the time to be doing it. You know what I mean? Like because you're not making shit for support. I mean, I guess with live streams, and there are some shows, but I think like I think like and I think this was said in the beginning is that like right now like creativity is like with all the COVID stuff is being pushed, and it's being pushed because we're no longer trying to make the biggest banger. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to like write like, you know, like something that's like, you know, vibey and emotional and something that you can get into and like you can go into a journey with in your head, you know what I mean? And like, you know, and I think that that's like, you know, that is pushing creativity, you know what I mean? Like we're moving away from these like minute and a half tracks sometimes, which I personally think are a little ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like when it's just like this quick intro with, there's not really much to it. It's an ambience and then a drop and then it leaves. Like I don't know who's done it, but I know some people, and like I'm just not like, you know, it seems lazy to me. Like,
dude, I struggle to get songs under 4 minutes. That's like most of the time it doesn't happen. Like most of my music ends up between 4 and 4.5 minutes. Sometimes it's 3.5. Always over 3. Unless I'm making like I can't even. I have no example.
I've written 2-minute tracks. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But like, like the 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There's an intro. There's a build. There's a drop. There's a mid-tro. There's a build. There's a drop. There's an outro. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I learned that recently, and I was like, that sums that shit up real well. Like,
totally.
The thing I can say is, man, is I hope everybody is staying safe out there, and I really hope everybody is writing a lot of music, and the one thing I want to say is write music for the listener, you know what I mean? Well, for listening, you know what I mean? Because right now, you know what I mean, making like the biggest, heaviest banger in the world like isn't the most important thing, and I want people to really get creative. So I think we can take this time that we have with ourselves to push the boundaries and you know, continue the evolution of this music.
I like it.
Wow, humans, what an episode. Big thanks to SEDA for being on. Make sure you go join his Facebook group community, SEDA Heads. That link will be in the bottom, but it's SEDAHEADZ. Now, again, big thanks to the Producer Dojo. That's the best place to learn music production online. All three of our illustrious hosts are senseis, aka mentors there. The approach with Seth Drake, where all of us have learned to really hone our high-level engineering skills, and Gvngaroo Records music distribution, home of unlimited distribution for under $10, where I Trap Jesus have just recently released my Merry Trapsmiths EP. You can find that anywhere. Thanks so much, humans. As always, subscribe, like, share, rate, review, all those good things to let the people know that this show is awesome. If you love us, you know we love you. Let the people know. All right? Peace and peace among worlds.